him out. 2 balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is way back. Welcome on, Chris Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined as always by Matt Moreno. Matt, it's a week of surprises. Yesterday, we posted a video that Cody Bellinger is winning offensive awards. Today, we're posting a video saying Major League Baseball and the Players Association are coming to agreements in the middle of the year. What is happening? The news today is that the Major League Baseball and the Players Association have agreed to tweak some pitcher limits that were in place. Here's the short version. Right now, Major League Baseball teams are allowed to have 28 players on their active roster. As of May 2nd, that number is going to go down to 26. And the expectation is that when it went down, the limit on pitchers that a team could carry would go down to 13, which is sort of the expectation at the beginning of the year. The two sides have agreed that that number can go as high as 14 on May 2nd. It has to be down to 14 on May 2nd. We'll go down to 13 on May 29th. So teams can carry an extra pitcher basically for the month of May. Matt, I'll come to you. How does this impact the Dodgers? Is this good news or bad news if you're a Dodger fan?
Definitely good news. I mean, it's only one roster spot, one extra pitcher that they, in theory, could carry. But it helps because we've been discussing it in several of our videos. Like, they were going to have some tough decisions coming up, and they still will. Obviously, Tommy Kahnle is on his rehab assignment, but the beginning he had kind of pointed to as the target date for when he would be ready to join the team. You still have Caleb Ferguson, also, who's another, was on a similar timeline. Victor Gonzalez is injured. He was pitching well. His kind of status is a little bit more unclear. The last time we asked about it was about a week ago. Yeah. And he had said Victor Gonzalez really hadn't even started playing catch yet. So he's a little bit further behind. It helps. I think, obviously, in a perfect world, the Dodgers just would have preferred for it to stay maybe 16 through May, because as we've seen for April, they've been at 16 pitchers more times than not. But yeah, I mean, any extra pitcher they can carry, I'm sure they'll take and utilize.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're following the Dodgers, Dave Roberts gets a lot of flack for being a tinkerer. Well, guess what? It's now that the DH is here, he basically is never pinch hitting for anybody, and so the extra bench bats are typically not used, and the Dodgers pretty much have 9 guys that they want to play every day. So it's sort of like Austin Barnes catches the days he's going to catch, and then Edwin Rios and Hanser Alberto are alternating the one out of every 3 days that one of them gets to play. And so I'm with you. More pitching options is better for the Dodgers. One other name you didn't mention, Andrew Heaney, supposedly only going to be out a short time, in which case he would be back sooner. But you just look at the 40-man roster. This is alphabetical. I'll read you some names. We've got Tyler Anderson, Phil Bickford, Justin Brule, Walker Buehler. Those are 4 guys that we're sort of penciling in. You've got Gonsolin, Gratterall, Heaney, Hudson, Kahnle, Kershaw, Kimbrel, Evan Phillips, David Price, Blake Trinan, Julio Urias, Alex Vesia. I just named 16 guys. 16 guys that the Dodgers would want to have if all of them are healthy. That doesn't include Dustin May, who's going to be out for a while. I'm not sure if I mentioned, or you mentioned Victor Gonzalez. I'm not sure if I included Caleb Ferguson. I mean, the point is they have way too many guys for way too few spots. That doesn't include guys like Garrett Clevenger, who have been up and down. And so I'm with you. The more pitchers that the Dodgers are allowed to carry, the less likely they are to have to make somebody like Phil Bickford frustrated by getting sent down to AAA just because he has options. Justin Brule sent down to AAA because he has options. I mean, could Alex Vesia be sent down to AAA? Could Tony Gonsolin be sent down to AAA? All these guys have options, and at some point there's going to be a roster crunch. Not everybody has options. We know Evan Phillips can't be sent down. David Price can't be sent down. You get to Tyler Anderson, he can't be sent down. Tommy Kahnle can't be sent down. So there's some guys that have to be on the Major League roster. And so I'm with you. I think more pitchers is a good thing for the Dodgers. And, do you agree with the sense that, the bench bats are just less necessary than maybe they have been in years past because of the DH?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I still think that there is a little bit more wiggle room for the Dodgers to kind of distribute their at-bats. Yeah. I think Freddie Freeman was coming into the season. He's somebody who we knew was going to play every day. I'm a little surprised that some of the other guys haven't received a few more days off, just because the Dodgers typically are mindful of how long of a season is. And frankly, this isn't, and I mean, we've touched on last year's bench, but this isn't that. Yeah. You have players, I think, who and then, put together at least competitive at bats.
Yeah.
So I'm a little surprised there, but, to the kind of circle back a little bit to the pitching stuff, I think we could easily see a scenario where maybe Caleb Ferguson spends most of this season just down in, because he's obviously coming back from Tommy John. They want to be careful with his innings, and so down there, they could pitch him every 2 or 3 days and really have a little bit more control instead of having him take up a roster spot and be pretty limited.
Yeah, and I mean, again, the lead that we buried here is the reason that Major League Baseball and the Players Association agreed to this is because of the shortened spring and not wanting to overwork arms that sort of weren't built up in the way that they would want to. And we've seen that with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are not throwing anybody out there. Almost nobody is pitching back-to-back days. I think Gratterall's done it a few times, but that's pretty much it. Of course, the Dodgers have had a ton of off days. They played like 3 less games than some other teams in the league, but this allows them to just space it out. And when you've got a bullpen as deep as the Dodgers, you could go to Bickford instead of Gratterall or instead of Hudson, and it's not a big drop-off. You can just sort of pick your spots with these guys, play it safe. I like the idea of Ferguson. Just let these guys sort of breathe a little bit early in the season. Once we get to the end of the May, you're down to 13. You can still rotate some of those guys who have options and go from there. So, again, the headline here is right now the Dodgers can carry up to 16 pitchers on their roster. That number goes down to 14 on May 2nd and then 13 on May 29th. It was supposed to go down to 13th on May 2nd, so they get an extra pitcher for an extra month. That's Matt Moreno. My name's Jeff Spiegel. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Check out Dodger Heads podcast on Apple and Spotify, wherever you get that. We would really appreciate if you'd follow, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you need to do on those apps. And, of course, subscribe and ring the notification bell here as well. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next time.